to Not a Great Whisperer podcast. This is your host, Katy Ray. We are joined by the wonderful, intelligent Valerie McDonald today. How are you?
Hi, thanks for having me. I am great.
Very excited to have you on. We have all the things to talk about. Not only are you a mom of two, you're a Tampa native. I'm just going through your bio. You are into local politics. You actually work in that field. And then she likes fucking animals. Not doing that, but like saving the animals.
Saving animals, yes.
But like, let's talk about all the things. So what do you do right now?
Currently, I am the legislative aide for State Representative Andrew Learned. He is the representative for the Brandon, Riverview, Valrico area.
That's so cool. And how did you get into politics?
It's something that I've been doing since high school, mainly volunteering for various organizations. I was a volunteer in the Republican Party. I was a volunteer for Rock the Vote. And then I kind of sort of took a break for a little bit. And then a friend of mine was running for mayor for City of Tampa, Topher Morrison. Wow. And I reached out to him to volunteer on his campaign, and the rest is pretty much history.
The whole volunteering thing. I'm like,
yeah.
Gosh, you are very dedicated. So with like, just, I mean, you're locally in Tampa, but you've done things. I know I've seen you in Tallahassee and all those things. Like what are you doing there? Are you campaigning, or are you just doing sort of like, are you just going to like meetings?
I go up to Tallahassee once a year, basically for legislative session.
Okay.
It's the 60 days, whether it's in the beginning of the year or more in the spring, where all of the legislators from the state of Florida get together and they pass laws.
What do you think? So I always feel like education is key to politics, and people not having any idea what's going on. So over the years since high school to now being a mom, how have your, like, I wouldn't say views, 'cause we don't have to like get into that, but like, how has your idea changed about like who you're voting for or what's important, or like, how has your mind changed with that? Like, what's important now?
I would definitely say now that I'm an adult versus when I was in high school, I do a lot of research on the candidates and where they stand. And that also comes into play when I decide during campaign season who I want to work for, whether that's on a paid staffer position or a volunteer basis. I want someone that I feel is going to best represent my needs and concerns. And as I said before, I was on I did work for Republican Party, and then, their ideals just became so controversial and just so out there that it didn't align with my personal beliefs. And so I found someone who did.
Yeah, I know that's crazy to see when you said volunteered for the Republican. I was like, wow, okay. But not like but it's just so extreme right now, right? It's just one thing to another. Okay, so now you are a mom of two.
Yes.
What are the ages?
My son is 15 and my daughter just turned 8.
What? Oh my gosh. Wow. I love that kind of separation in age too. So what, have you noticed your 15-year-old at all asking about politics, or you educate?
He gets involved.
That's cool.
Not to the level of, activism or anything like that, but he's asked a couple questions about, well, what does this mean? And for example, when Roe v. Wade was overturned, obviously he's a guy. So I was a little surprised when he asked about that. And I just, I had to explain to him that Roe v. Wade was overturned. It basically resulted in leaving the decision whether or not to allow abortions or ban them altogether up to the states. And the way Florida is heading, I think we can safely say that it's the GOP's priority to ban abortion across the board. So I explained that to him. I explained, he asked questions about who's on the ballot and, what is the referendum or, gosh.
That's so cool. He asks all that.
Yeah, he does. He does ask about my job. He's not thrilled. Neither is my daughter when I have to go to Tallahassee for the 60 days.
Oh, but it's 60 days.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's 60
wow.
days.
Wow. And wow, that is a really long time. I didn't even realize that. But I mean, it's important, right? It's once a year.
Yep.
You kind of have to do it. It's just part of the gig. But it's so awesome to watch that you did this in high school to now. I think it's really, isn't it kind of crazy?
Yeah.
But what do you think? My 8-year-old asked about, because I was like so emotional that day. He was like, what happened? And, I teach him a lot about RBG.
Yeah.
So he's like, well, isn't that what something she fought for or something? He was just asking like timelines, but he's 8. So it's super hard to explain all these things. I was like, we just keep fighting. You're 8.
Yeah. We just keep protesting, keep marching, trying to, get it out there that it's not just, it's reproductive care across the board.
I know, that's it.
For
all
women.
About healthcare.
Yeah.
Get out of the exam rooms. So what have you noticed being in politics, really, how like weird people are when they talk about it? Because you're probably pretty open because you're like in it and you're very educated on it. How like quiet people get sometimes when they talk about politics. It's like kind of awkward. Do you think fear or just?
I don't want to say it's fear. I think it's more of, I think at least to me, it's more of respecting each other's differences and respecting each other's beliefs. I have some friends that are really good friends of mine that are on the GOP side, but we've all come to the realization that we're just going to agree to disagree. Mm-hmm. That they have their beliefs, I have mine, and we just have productive conversations and leave it at that.
Well, what would you suggest for people that want to kind of understand more who they're voting for and not just party?
Research, definite do your research, look up your candidates. They're all over the internet, not just their Facebook pages, but look at the articles. I had a friend of mine reach out to me wanting just where to go to get information on the candidates. And, I sent her a couple articles that Tampa Bay Times, for as long as I've been doing this, they have been a great source of information. They try to stay non-partisan on who they recommend as best as possible. So, that's the best thing I can do. And, if you are someone who does lean more towards the GOP versus the Democratic Party, go out and volunteer. Volunteer with your local caucus, get involved and learn more about the process, because it's not just saying, hey, I want to run for office because XYZ. That's great. Anyone can say that, but you have to get down to the nitty gritty, to the fine line to figure out what exactly they want to do and how they're going to benefit you as an individual.
Gosh, so much research. People just don't want to do it. What do you think what inspired you to get into this in high school?
Honestly, it was, I remember Rock the Vote sent me kind of like an information packet. I don't remember if I signed up for it. I don't remember how they got my information, but they just sent it to me, and it looked like something that was fun. So I responded back and signed up, and then the next thing I know, I'm getting getting more and more and more. And I've always paid attention to politics and to the elections. And I will admit I paid more attention to the presidential elections growing up, because those are, all over the news, all over the TV. And it just always sounded like something that, I wanted to do. In my mind, when I'm growing up, I said that, I wanted to be the person behind the scenes, the person that gets that person elected. And it's just stuck with me.
That's so cool. And what's your streak now for your candidates? You got a number? You got a number on your?
I don't really keep count. I mean,
you should have a t-shirt.
I'm sorry?
Show a t-shirt that's like 4 wins.
Right? Undefeated. I think it's
use me to campaign and you'll win.
I think it's an even. I think I'm 2 and 2. So, 2 candidates won, 2 candidates lost. Okay. So, hey, that's great. That's great. And, even though my candidates lost, I necessarily don't take it as a loss, because it got them out there. It got them engaged in the community, and it got the community aware, and it gave them the community a fresh perspective of what could be, what they could get next time around.
And then when you're working with them, you have the volunteers that were you back.
Yeah.
How much fun? Is it like an adrenaline?
Yeah. Yeah. It is an adrenaline rush. And then there's also a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that go into it.
And being a woman and being just so intelligent, knowing what you're talking about, do you notice the kind of reaction sometimes around, politics is very man.
Yes.
So like a male dominated industry.
Yes.
So like, how do you feel just being a woman? How do you feel being a woman? No, like, how do you feel like in that atmosphere? Have you really like gotten into your own and very confident?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
But at first you probably were.
I was very, very reserved, very shy and quiet. And then when people found out, oh, she knows what she's doing.
Yeah, right? And you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Of course I do. How cool is that though? And your spouse is totally supportive?
Oh, 100%. Except for the fact that he gets frustrated that I have all of the campaign stuff in my garage. So we can't park our cars in the garage. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. We don't have a campaign office.
This is our campaign storage.
Exactly.
We don't have a campaign office. Buy me a campaign office. And I want to
right?
Oh my gosh, that is so funny that's the one thing. That's it. You're like, that's the only thing.
That's the only thing.
We just want a garage. All the like from every time is in there, or just for that? You have
so
leftover?
I do have yard signs from previous candidates, but it's only like maybe 3 or 4. But I have currently about half of our of Andrew or Rep Learned's yard signs in my garage right now, and the boxes of yard stakes. I have our giant.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know, 6 foot cooler. Yeah.
So great. I mean, and you get very connected to the person you're representing. I mean, because you have to know them on a personal level, because you're the buy-in right there of just like the passion involved in it. Did you ever think that this could be a job? You went from volunteering to now, it's crazy.
Yes, definitely being a paid staffer was always my end goal. I will say that it's been not hard, but as a single mom, the hours, the pay is fine, but the
hours,
it's the hours. I mean, once we get closer to election day, it's all in. So I could be working 12, 13, 14 hours. And then it's also too what happens after the campaign's over. Yeah. You always have to keep that in the back of your mind. Like, the campaign is not a permanent job. Even after election. So most people go from campaign to campaign to campaign to campaign. Hopefully, fingers crossed, the voters reelect Rep Learned and I get to stay employed for 2 more years as his LA. But there's still, it's like, okay, what do I do?
Wow, you're right. That is, that's a little bit of anxiety.
Yeah, just a little.
I feel a little bit. So what did that look for you? Like, your last rep, did you win or lose? And were you able to find another rep to support right away? Yeah.
So originally, when I started working for the Florida House, I was working for former Rep Adam Hattersley.
Oh,
yeah. So he had already made the decision to run for Congress. And Rep Learned was, excuse me, Rep Learned.
You're allowed to cough.
Was running for his seat. So I had the option, okay, at least I have, a couple of different choices at this point. If Rep Hattersley won, I could potentially go with him to DC, or if Rep Learned won.
Oh, you go there?
Yeah, we would.
Oh my God, I didn't even know that part. Holy.
Yep. And then if Rep Learned won, I could continue working for him.
Yeah.
In the Florida House. So I did have a couple of options, and Rep Hattersley didn't win his primary. So everything for me, at least, was I begun to rely on Rep Learned's campaign to hopefully get across the finish line, and then I would have a job, which thankfully that happened.
Okay. Oh, that's kind of, that is a little risky there. Yeah. So what are some of the things you love to do for fun?
I am an avid animal lover.
Okay.
I currently have 3 dogs, trying to convince my boyfriend to let me get a 4th so that I can have an even number. It's not going very well.
Even is important.
Even is important. Right now I've got 2 girl dogs and I have 1 boy dog. And I'm like, I need another one. I need another boy. He's just like, no.
We're trying equality here. I feel you. But what else do you like for avid like animal lovers? Do you have dogs?
I have dogs. My favorite animal is a turtle, the sea turtle. So I do a lot of sea turtle advocacy, especially during mating and nesting season.
For straws.
And yes, no straws. We are a plastic reusable straw family.
It's the straw campaign.
Yes.
She's and we are started it.
We are reusable cups, the tumblers. I have more of those than I could possibly think.
Yeah. Isn't it funny how many you have now?
Yeah, and I keep getting more.
I know.
I keep buying more.
Like everybody's like go-to little swag bag thing now too. That's important. So what else? So I feel like it's high stress during campaign time. Mm-hmm. What are your like what do you do to decompress?
Drink wine.
It's usually not like I just heavily drink so I can go to sleep.
No, I do some yoga.
Good. Clear
my mind, some meditation. Read a book.
I love asking people on but it's funny because you probably read something political.
No, actually, I don't. No.
Oh, like crime?
Yeah.
Like murders.
I do the crime. I do the crime stuff. I do. I actually just finished Where the Crawdads Sing.
Oh, God, I heard about that.
Oh, such a great book. I couldn't put it down. I read it in a day and a half.
Okay. That sounds like a great goal to have. That would not be me. It takes me a couple months to get through a couple pages. Are you Audible or you need the book?
I need the book. I gotta hold it in my hands and turn the pages and smell the pages. So yeah, definitely.
Do you ever get books from the library and you're sniffing the pages?
Yes. Probably not the smartest idea.
You don't know where that book's been.
Exactly.
It's clean. Oh my gosh, you said yes.
And then, yeah.
Gosh, it's just kind of crazy to watch where like Florida is. If you were to move to DC, of course you're representing Florida, but like everybody's moving.
Yeah.
Okay. So like all family, all in.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't be in DC permanently, just when he would have to be on the floor. So I'd be able to come back and forth.
Oh, it'd just be a lot of traveling.
It would be a lot of traveling. Yeah.
But you're already bought in.
Oh yeah.
So you're in, you're like,
and he knew that from the moment we started dating. Yeah.
Yeah. They're just like, sorry, I'm all in.
Sorry, love you, but
basically I'm helping the world.
Yes.
So,
I'm changing the world.
100%.
Yes.
And I think people don't realize that one vote matters.
It definitely does.
One vote.
And I always tell people, I don't care who you vote for, just get your butt out there and vote. I don't care if you want.
I care a little, but
yeah, I do. I care just a little. I would prefer you to vote this way, but as long as you're voting.
You're always talking about it now when you're I mean, it is every day for you. So
yeah, it's every day. But honestly, outside of work, my friends have gotten really good at realizing that I don't always want to talk about work.
Yeah.
That I'd rather just like, hey, let's go get brunch.
But I also feel like you're a good person for people to ask questions.
Yes.
Which is probably exhausting for you, but
I have. It's okay.
It's good to have a smart person on your team.
I don't. I don't mind people reaching out.
I'm texting you a ton. I have Tuesday voting. I need to ask you a ton of questions.
Yeah, no, I don't mind. People reach out to me on Instagram, Facebook, text messages, whatever, and they're like, "Hey, DMs. Yes, they love to slide in my DMs, but it's appropriate sliding."
Is it? Is it? It's politics 1 second, then it's not. Is it? What? That is cool that you keep. I feel like people should do that more.
Yeah,
because people don't do the extra, really work to dig into what they're working. Like it's crazy because people are just like, yeah, but I'm like, do you know what that person stands for?
Right?
Like, or what?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do think it's just crazy. And what about the younger generation for you? Has it been kind of fun? Because I feel like it's like your 15-year-old.
Yeah.
They ask more questions. They want it's just like a different generation.
They
I'm very hopeful
wild
for our future.
Yes, they are wild.
I love it.
They are constantly getting involved, wanting to know more. I mean, their brains are just give me more, give me more, give me more, give me it all. Like I want to know everything. And it's honestly, it's very exciting because when I was growing up, no one really did anything. You were looked at like, what?
Yeah, like you're just not going to vote for your parents want to vote for.
Right. Yeah. And that was also another reason that I got involved was that I didn't want to do what my parents did. I didn't want to follow their quote unquote lead and vote for who they were voting for. I wanted to make my own decisions. Right. Yeah. And the younger generation, they're all about it now. They're more involved than I was at their age.
I know, as sad as I was to go back 50 years, I'm very hopeful for them. And, at first I was super sad because I have a 6-year-old girl, a 2-year-old girl, and my son's crying for what happened because he feels my energy. I'm like, I know, I'm sorry. I don't mean to. But, there's that hope, that glimmer of just like, they're going to ask questions. They're going to question, like, it's not always the right way just because everybody's doing it. Don't just go. Yeah,
exactly.
So it's cool. Look at us just bringing hope to the world. Hopeful. Woo, Valerie for president.
Oh, whoa.
I said behind the scenes. Okay, so what do you want my billion listeners to know? What are we going to leave with? It's either something you stay motivated thinking about, what you do every day, something about politics, save the turtles, whatever.
Make smart choices. Make good decisions.
Make educated
decisions. Yes.
Because smart to you might not be
smart to them.
All right, I helped you with your quote to leave the book. Educate, like read something and learn something.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially now.
Get off the internet and
like once it's just so far right, so far left, and you're just like, this is exhausting. People.
It's very exhausting.
You look crazy. Like for real. Right? Do you get that though? Like crazy people at campaign, like gatherings all the time?
Yes. I can't tell you how many times I have just... Because I get notifications on my phone every time our Facebook page gets a message. And I go in and read them and I'm like,
wow.
What?
And it's just like, how much time do you guys have?
Yeah. And then of course, when I'm doing my 9-to-5 LA job, we get emails coming in all the time. My favorite one so far right now is defund the FBI.
Oh.
But
okay.
I got nothing.
Oh, it's a new
I got
one.
Nothing. Yeah.
Okay. I'll be sending spam emails as well. You sound great.
Yeah.
Fun little ideas.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. This is fun. This is always great. Okay. Well, where can we find you, Valerie? And who are we voting for?
You can find me out in Riverview. Running around.
Just on the street?
Just on the street, just running around. No, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Valerie Lynn.
You can find me on the streets of Riverview?
Yes.
Okay, and who are we voting for? Who are you representing?
We are definitely voting for Rep. Andrew Learned in November. He doesn't have a primary, so he will not be on the ballot in August. And we're still kind of up in the air on some other votes.
Gotta do your research, right?
Yeah, definitely. Got to do your research. That's what I'm doing right now.
Well, you've been a gem. I appreciate you coming and teaching the world to educate themselves. Don't be the weird person sending mass emails about nothing. Don't do that. You can find Valerie at katyray.com, Not a Great Whisper IG, at The Real K Ray, all the things. We're at BKN Creative Studio, and I appreciate you.
Yay. Thank you.